teacher. My name is Rafael Albarazin. I student. I studying to be English teacher at UTPL University. In today's lesson, I'm gonna teach my students how to give directions. It's lesson 2. You can miss it. We can find it on the book of Minister Education of Ecuador, English. So now I'm gonna mention all activities and strategies and methodologies that I'm gonna perform in this lesson. First of all, I would like to say the reason why I'm gonna use them. Well, the first reason is that I have taken into account the objectives of the class. Also, I have taken into account the difficult points to teach this lesson. Also, I have taken into consideration the student level. I mean that the teaching to students from high school is very different from students from school. Teachers can use another kind of materials. Also, I have taken account the resources that I have available at home. So, I think it's time to mention all activities, strategies, and methodologies that I'm gonna use for this lesson. Well, in this lesson, I'm gonna use 4 activities and I'm gonna perform 3 strategies and 3 methodologies. Some methodologies that I'm gonna use for this lesson, it is the total physical response, the audio lingual method, and the grammar translation method. And some strategies that I'm gonna use, we're gonna perform in this lesson, it is task-based learning, students thinking time, and collaborative teaching strategy. So, some activities that I'm gonna use for the lesson is that students can work in pairs and groups of 4 students. And the second activity is that students can develop some exercises using their books and some worksheets. And the fourth activity is that students can develop a quiz. This quiz is about, I'm gonna use a map here, and students need to write directions about what I'm gonna tell them. So now I'm gonna talk about the didactic materials or supplementary material that I'm gonna use for this lesson. Well, for these lessons I have 2 interesting materials. This is a poster and a worksheets. This is worksheets. Here students will work completing some exercises looking this map. Also, they will have to complete some gaps. Here students have some prepositions, they will have to use this in order to complete. Yes. Also, students will have to come to the board and perform some exercises like some directions looking this map. For example, I'm gonna tell one student or a group of 4 or 3 students come to the board and I'm gonna say one directions. You are here, it is an example, and I want to go to the post office or I want to go to the restaurants. And I'm gonna say, Mr. Alvarazin or Mr. Jose, how can I get to the cinema? And one student is going to say, for example, you need to go 1 block to the left and take the Robert Avenue, go ahead for 3 blocks, something like that. And the worksheets, I have some worksheets I have tell you they have to complete, but also I have some copies. This copy is from the book of Ministry of Education on page 15. Topics you can miss it. You can miss in lesson 2. Here, students will have to learn some prepositions and use the prepositions in accurate way. For example, this reflect on grammar. Given directions. Go ahead, the walking path, something like that. And finally, I would like to mention about the board and some markers that I'm gonna use for this lesson. I think it is very important because I can explain the concept and all the students can see and understand me. Also, using these kind of materials increase the interaction between the teacher and students. Also increase participation, something like that. And so now I would like to mention the positive points on my lesson plan. So, well, as you can hear, I had mentioned different methodologies and strategies and supplementary materials. I think this is very important because all the materials I have prepared is according to the objectives of the class, the level of the students, and taking in account the difficult points of this lesson. And now I'm going to mention the negative points on this lesson plan. Well, the only thing I'm gonna say about the negative points in this lesson plan is that maybe at the beginning of the class using a video clip in order to provide students more interaction, more participation. So, and finally, I would like to mention that some points that I would like to change in this lesson plan. Well, I don't like to change any points in this lesson plan because they are very useful for learning a second language in accurate way, and students can develop language skills. So now I would like to say that it is my lesson plan number 5, and I have taken all activities, all methodologies from this lesson. It is information data, TL objectives, methodologies and strategies, and closing review and follow up. Thank you so much. I hope you like my explanation about how I'm gonna teach my students to give directions.